Every year, brave crews set out into one of the most dangerous seas on Earth, chasing a catch that could make or break their future. But behind the crashing waves and record-breaking hauls lies a story far deeper than just survival. What really goes on aboard these legendary crab boats? How did a gritty reality series about fishing captivate millions and become a cultural phenomenon?
We had a 150-year event this year.
Yeah.
That's only happens every 150 years.
Deadliest Catch is a television show that has captured the harsh realities of fishing in the Bering Sea. The series was originally intended to document the lives of fishermen during the king crab and snow crab seasons, showcasing their daily struggles against nature's most unforgiving conditions. However, over the years, it became clear that the dangers went far beyond rough seas and cold weather. Nearly every season, the show has been marked by tragedy. Cast members have died, disappeared, or faced legal troubles. This has led many fans and critics alike to wonder if there is some kind of curse surrounding the show. One of the most notable and beloved figures on Deadliest Catch was Captain Phil Harris. His story exemplifies the perilous nature of life at sea and the toll it takes on those who choose this path. Phil Harris first appeared on the show in its debut season, though at that time his role was brief. Despite this, he quickly made an impression on viewers. There was something about him that commanded respect and attention. An air of confidence mixed with a touch of stubbornness. He was known for his fearless attitude, often seen with a cigarette dangling from his lips as he navigated the treacherous waters. Phil was no stranger to the sea. He had been involved in fishing since he was a young boy, growing up in a family deeply connected to the trade. By his early 20s, he had become the youngest captain on the Bering Sea. He commanded the Cornelia Marie, a fishing vessel based in Seattle, and his experience spanned decades. Fans admired not only his skill, but also his tough, sometimes brash personality. He was known to get angry quickly and could be quite cocky, but his expertise was undeniable. Many viewers felt like he was invincible, a man who would always return from the sea no matter the odds. As the show progressed into its second season, Phil's role grew significantly. He appeared alongside his sons Jake and Josh, who joined the crew. Together they became a focal point of the series. The dynamic between the family members was compelling, and fans quickly embraced the Harris family. However, the show also began to reveal the darker side of life on the sea, a side that would soon hit the Harris family hard. Season after season, Phil was a constant presence on the deck of the Cornelia Marie. He worked relentlessly, rarely taking breaks. Whether the weather was good or bad, there was always something to be done. He seemed to push himself beyond his limits, perhaps not fully acknowledging the toll the job was taking on his health. Unfortunately, this would lead to tragic consequences. In early 2010, during filming for the 6th season, Phil's health took a severe downturn. On January 29th, while unloading cargo on St. Paul Island in Alaska, he complained of feeling unusually tired. Planning to return to his hotel room to rest and take some medications, he seemed to carry on as usual. However, the seriousness of his condition quickly became apparent. Phil Harris had been battling several health issues, including a blood clot that blocked an artery in his lung. While the exact cause of this clot was never officially confirmed, it is widely understood that his heavy smoking habit contributed to the problem. Smoking damages blood vessels and increases the risk of blood clots, which can have severe and sometimes fatal consequences. His health struggles had already forced him to step away from fishing during part of the 4th season, and he was unable to lead his crew during the 5th season's king crab season. Despite this, he remained part of the show, occasionally appearing on screen, much to the fans' relief. On that January day, after going to his room, Phil did not come back out as expected. Initially, this didn't raise immediate concerns, because those around him knew he was taking medication and likely resting. However, when he still hadn't emerged after some time, the vessel's second engineer, Steve Ward, went to check on him. Ward found Phil lying on the floor, unable to move properly. Phil could still communicate, though his speech was affected. It quickly became clear that Phil Harris was experiencing a massive stroke. His left side was sagging and unresponsive, a clear sign of serious brain injury. Phil asked Ward to call his son, Josh. When Josh arrived, he immediately recognized the severity of his father's condition. Emergency services were called, and Phil was airlifted to a hospital in Anchorage, Alaska, where he underwent urgent brain surgery. The operation was lengthy and critical. Following the surgery, Phil was placed into a medically induced coma to give his brain the best chance to recover. After several days, he woke from the coma, showing signs of improvement that gave hope to his family and fans. Although he was able to speak and interact with loved ones, those close to him sensed that something was wrong. His condition was fragile. Tragically, just 9 days after awakening, Phil's brain began to bleed again. The damage from the stroke was too extensive, and on February 9, 2010, at the age of 53, Captain Phil Harris passed away. His death was a shock to the fishing community and fans alike, marking one of the most heartbreaking moments in the show's history. The impact of Phil's death extended beyond the immediate grief. His sons, Jake and Josh, faced immense pressure as they tried to carry on their father's legacy. The Cornelia Marie seemed to carry a heavy weight of misfortune, a vessel that had become associated with tragedy. This feeling was only heightened when another captain connected to Cornelia Marie would later face his own untimely death. Despite the immense dangers, Phil Harris's story remains a powerful reminder of the human cost behind the thrilling and often perilous world of commercial fishing. His dedication, skill, and larger-than-life personality helped shape Deadliest Catch into the show it became, but his untimely passing also revealed the harsh reality that no one is invincible out at sea. After the loss of Captain Phil Harris, the shadow of tragedy continued to hang over Deadliest Catch. The show's fans were already grappling with the harsh realities of life at sea, but the series seemed to take on an even darker tone as more tragedies unfolded. One of the most significant events following Phil's death was the passing of Captain Andy Hillstrand. Andy Hillstrand was another familiar and respected face on Deadliest Catch. Known for his calm demeanor and deep connection to the fishing industry, Andy was a staple on the F/V Time Bandit. Alongside Captain Jonathan Hillstrand, his brother, Andy brought years of experience and expertise to the show. Viewers admired his skill, but also his quiet strength in the face of danger. In April 2010, just a couple of months after Phil Harris passed away, Andy suffered a serious medical emergency that shook the fishing community. While the exact details of the incident were not widely publicized, it was reported that Andy had a severe stroke. This stroke left him in critical condition and forced him to step away from fishing for an extended period. His absence was deeply felt both by fans and by his crew, and Andy's role on the Time Bandit was central, and his illness raised awareness of the health risks many fishermen face due to the demanding nature of their work. Long hours, high stress, and exposure to the elements can all contribute to health problems, but the culture of fishing often discourages taking time off for medical reasons. For Andy, the stroke was a wake-up call, but it was just one of the many health challenges he would face. In the years that followed, Andy Hillstrand made a recovery and returned to the show, but his experience was a reminder of the fragility of life in this line of work. His story, alongside Phil Harris's, underscored a growing pattern. The Bering Sea is not only a battleground with nature, but also a place where the physical demands can lead to devastating health consequences. Another tragic chapter in Deadliest Catch history involved Captain Keith Colburn. While Keith is still alive, his story is marked by a close brush with death and an ongoing battle with the dangerous environment of the Bering Sea. Known for commanding the F/V Wizard, Keith's steady leadership and humor made him a fan favorite. However, his experiences highlighted the ever-present risks that come with crab fishing. In 2011, during the snow crab season, Keith narrowly escaped death when his vessel encountered a violent storm. The storm caused a massive wave to slam into the Wizard, nearly capsizing the ship and injuring several crew members. The situation became so dire that rescue efforts were considered. Fortunately, Keith and his crew managed to stabilize the vessel and make it safely back to port. This incident was a stark reminder of how quickly circumstances can change on the sea, and how even the most skilled captains are vulnerable. Beyond individual health issues and close calls, The Deadliest Catch has also faced tragedies linked to accidents and disappearances at sea. One of the most harrowing was the death of Captain Phil Harris's close friend and fellow fisherman, Captain Rick Jensen. Rick was a seasoned captain who had worked alongside Phil for many years. His death was sudden and unexpected. In 2014, Captain Rick Jensen was reported missing after going overboard during a fishing trip. Despite extensive search efforts, his body was never recovered. The ocean is vast and unforgiving, and many fishermen have been lost to the sea without a trace. Such disappearances add a chilling element to the show's reputation for danger. The risks are not only related to weather or health, but also to the unpredictable nature of the open water. The show's production has occasionally faced scrutiny for its handling of safety protocols and the well-being of its cast and crew. While the producers emphasize the reality and danger of commercial fishing, some critics argue that the pressures of filming may contribute to increased risks. Fishermen working long hours under the watchful eyes of cameras might push themselves harder, potentially overlooking safety measures to capture dramatic footage. Despite this, it's important to recognize that the dangers of crab fishing existed long before the cameras arrived. The Bering Sea is known for brutal storms, freezing temperatures, and treacherous ice. Fishermen operate in cramped quarters, often on slippery decks with heavy machinery. The risk of falling overboard, hypothermia, and injury is ever present. Even experienced captains and crew who take every precaution can find themselves at the mercy of the sea. Beyond physical danger, the mental toll on fishermen is significant. The stress of being away from family for months, combined with the constant threat of injury or death, can lead to anxiety and depression. Some fishermen have spoken openly about the psychological challenges they face, including coping with the loss of colleagues and the pressure to maintain a successful catch season. The cumulative effect of these dangers contributes to what many viewers have come to call the Deadliest Catch curse. While it is not a curse in the supernatural sense, the phrase reflects the high rate of tragedy associated with the show. Fans often discuss the unfortunate series of events that have plagued the vessels and crews featured on the program. The losses of Phil Harris and Rick Jensen, the health struggles of Andy Hillstrand, and numerous near disasters have created a narrative of ongoing hardship. This perception is reinforced by the show's format, which blends reality TV drama with the real dangers of commercial fishing. The emotional weight of these events is amplified by the camera's presence, allowing viewers to witness the struggles and heartbreak in a raw, unfiltered way. This combination of real-life peril and storytelling has made Deadliest Catch compelling, but it has also raised questions about the costs of bringing such dangerous work into the public eye. Despite all this, the show continues to be one of the most popular reality TV programs about fishing. It draws millions of viewers each season, many of whom are fascinated by the bravery and resilience of the fishermen. The crews featured on the show embody a tough spirit, often described as resilient and resourceful. They are aware of the risks, but accept them as part of their livelihood. The Deadliest Catch has also helped bring attention to the commercial fishing industry and the challenges it faces. By documenting the physical, emotional demands of crab fishing, the show has highlighted the need for better safety measures, improved medical care, and greater awareness of the health risks involved. Some industry advocates have used the platform to call for reforms and support for fishermen's mental health. In recent years, the show has also featured new generations of fishermen stepping up to carry on the tradition. The sons of original captains, including Jake and Josh Harris, have become more prominent, showcasing the ongoing cycle of risk and reward in this dangerous profession. The stories of younger crews trying to balance respect for their predecessors with the realities of modern fishing continue to resonate with audiences. The legacy of Deadliest Catch is a complex one. It is a story of courage, family, hardship, and loss. While the so-called curse may be more about the inherent dangers of the profession than anything supernatural, the human cost is undeniable. The show provides a window into a world that few outsiders ever see, reminding us of the strength it takes to face the ocean's deadliest challenges day after day. As Deadliest Catch has evolved over the years, the show has continued to explore not only the dangers of crab fishing, but also the complex relationships between crew members, the toll of life at sea, and the changing nature of the industry itself. Part of what makes the series compelling is the way it portrays the human side of these tough, often stoic fishermen, showing moments of vulnerability and resilience that go beyond the physical challenges they face. One of the ongoing themes throughout the series is the pressure that commercial fishing puts on family life. Many of the captains and crew members come from long lines of fishermen, with the trade often passed down through generations. This legacy creates a strong sense of pride and responsibility, but it also means long periods of separation from loved ones. For some, the choice to continue fishing is as much about honoring family tradition as it is about making a living. For instance, the Harris family. Phil Harris and his sons, Jake and Josh, have been central figures on the show. After Phil's death, his sons stepped up to carry on the family legacy, facing not only the physical demands of crab fishing, but also the emotional weight of following in their father's footsteps. Their journey has been a poignant element of the series, highlighting the challenges of grief, expectations, and leadership. This theme of family extends beyond blood relations. The crews on these boats often develop close bonds, almost like extended families. Working in such high-risk, high-stress environments fosters a sense of camaraderie and mutual dependence. Crew members rely on each other not only for their professional skills, but for emotional support. This connection helps many cope with the loneliness and fear that come with being isolated on the ocean for months at a time. However, these intense relationships can also lead to conflict. The show does not shy away from depicting tensions among crew members, whether due to personality clashes, stress, or differing opinions on how to run the boat. These conflicts, while sometimes difficult to watch, add to the realism of the series. They remind viewers that despite the shared dangers, the men on these boats are individuals with their own struggles and emotions. Beyond interpersonal dynamics, the series has also shone a light on the economic challenges facing the crab fishing industry. While the risks are well documented, the rewards are not always guaranteed. Crab prices fluctuate depending on the market, and the cost of running a fishing vessel, fuel, maintenance, crew wages, can be very high. This creates a precarious balance where a single bad season or mechanical failure can have serious financial consequences. These economic pressures sometimes lead captains and crews to take greater risks. For example, fishing in dangerous weather conditions or pushing the limits of their equipment can mean the difference between a profitable season and financial loss. The show has highlighted these dilemmas, illustrating how fishermen must constantly weigh their safety against economic necessity. In addition to market volatility, regulatory changes also impact the industry. Government agencies set quotas and limits designed to protect crab populations and ensure sustainability, but these regulations can sometimes create tensions between conservation efforts and fishermen's livelihoods. Deadliest Catch has occasionally addressed these issues, showing how regulations influence the strategies captains use and the pressures they face. The environmental conditions in the Bering Sea are also evolving, adding another layer of complexity. Climate change has begun to affect crab populations in their habitats, altering migration patterns and the timing of fishing seasons. These changes can disrupt traditional fishing practices, forcing fishermen to adapt quickly or risk losing their catch. The show has documented some of these environmental shifts, raising awareness of how climate factors intertwine with human industry. Technological advances have also played a role in transforming crab fishing. Modern navigation systems, communication tools, and safety equipment have improved some aspects of fishing operations. However, technology can be a double-edged sword, sometimes creating a false sense of security or adding new pressures to perform. The balance between traditional skills and modern tools is a recurring topic among the captains and crews featured on Deadliest Catch. Throughout the series, mental health has emerged as a critical issue. The demanding nature of crab fishing, long hours, isolation, physical danger can take a significant toll on the psychological well-being of fishermen. Some have spoken openly about their struggles with anxiety, depression, and even substance abuse as a way to cope with the stresses of the job. The show has helped reduce the stigma around discussing mental health by including these conversations. In recent seasons, more focus has been placed on the importance of support systems, whether through family, friends, or professional help. This openness reflects a broader cultural shift toward recognizing the importance of mental health in traditionally tough masculine industries like commercial fishing. Another important aspect the series touches on is the role of women in the fishing industry. Historically, commercial fishing has been a male-dominated field, but Deadliest Catch has showcased several women who work as crew members, captains, and in related roles. Their participation challenges stereotypes and highlights the evolving nature of the industry. Women on these vessels face their own unique challenges, from physical demands to dealing with a predominantly male work environment. The show has documented their determination and skill, showing that success in crab fishing depends on competence and resilience rather than gender. This representation broadens the narrative around who can participate in commercial fishing and helps inspire a more diverse future workforce. Deadliest Catch also offers a rare glimpse into the operational side of fishing boats. Beyond the physical act of catching crab, the series covers aspects such as boat maintenance, dealing with mechanical failures, and the logistics of handling large catches. These elements add depth to the show, illustrating that commercial fishing is as much about managing complex equipment and planning as it is about bravery at sea. This operational perspective is important because it reflects the real-world challenges fishermen face daily. A sudden engine failure or ice buildup on deck can be life-threatening, and captains must make quick decisions to protect their crews and vessels. The show's focus on these details helps viewers appreciate the skill and knowledge required to run a successful fishing operation. Another layer of complexity comes from the crew hierarchy and the traditions that govern life aboard these boats. The captain holds ultimate authority, but the crew includes various roles, such as deckhands, engineers, and mates, each with specific responsibilities. This structure is crucial for maintaining order and efficiency in a chaotic and dangerous environment. The series occasionally explores how new crew members adjust to these roles, often facing a steep learning curve. For some, crab fishing is a family business. For others, it's a chance for adventure or a way to earn a living. The mix of backgrounds and personalities adds richness to the storylines and highlights the diverse motivations behind choosing such a demanding career. In recent seasons, the show has also documented how the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the fishing industry. Travel restrictions, health protocols, and supply chain disruptions affected how crews operated and interacted with their families. These unprecedented challenges brought new uncertainties, but also demonstrated the adaptability and resilience of fishermen. Ultimately, Deadliest Catch remains a powerful portrayal of a unique and dangerous profession. Its combination of personal stories, environmental realities, and economic pressures offers a multifaceted look at what it means to work on the Bering Sea. The series has educated audiences about the risks involved, the skills required, and the human cost of feeding a global market. The show's legacy is one of respect for the men and women who brave the ocean's deadliest challenges, and a reminder that behind every catch is a story of courage, hardship, and perseverance. By continuing to document these stories, Deadliest Catch helps ensure that the sacrifices and struggles of commercial fishermen are not forgotten. As Deadliest Catch continued to grow in popularity, the series expanded its reach beyond the original concept of crab fishing in the Bering Sea. Over the years, the show introduced new vessels, captains, and fishing seasons to give viewers a broader view of the commercial fishing industry and to keep the narrative fresh. This expansion allowed audiences to experience different types of fishing, weather conditions, and crew dynamics. It also deepened the storytelling, revealing new challenges, rivalries, and personal struggles that added to the show's complexity. One of the major additions came with the inclusion of the Opilio crab season, which takes place later in the year than the king crab season and presents its own unique challenges. While king crab season is known for intense but relatively short bursts of activity, Opilio season tends to last longer and can involve even colder temperatures, and more unpredictable weather. Ice plays a much bigger role in these later months, and the risk of deck injuries and mechanical failures increases significantly. The decision to include Oplio season gave viewers insight into the full range of the fishing calendar and allowed captains to show a different side of their expertise. In addition to expanding fishing seasons, Deadliest Catch began to highlight newer and younger captains entering the industry. This generational shift brought a fresh perspective to the show. Viewers could observe how traditional knowledge was passed down and how younger leaders adapted to a rapidly changing industry. Some of these newer captains had grown up on the boats, learning from their fathers or mentors. Others had worked their way up from deckhands and earned their spot through hard work and persistence. This transition was not always smooth. The dynamic between veteran captains and younger ones sometimes led to clashes in management styles or disagreements over fishing strategies. These generational contrasts offered more than just entertainment. They reflected the real-world challenges of succession and legacy in an industry where experience is highly valued, but adaptation is critical. Captains like Sean Dwyer, who took command of the Brenner A at a relatively young age, had to prove themselves in an environment where respect is hard-earned and mistakes can be costly. The evolution of crew dynamics also played an important role in this phase of the series. As new boats and crews were introduced, so were fresh personalities and working styles. These changes brought new energy to the show, but they also led to occasional friction, especially when seasoned crew members had to adjust to new leadership or younger deckhands had to earn their place. The process of building trust and cohesion among crews was often central to the narrative, illustrating how critical teamwork is in such a high-stakes environment. The addition of the boat saga and its captain, Jake Anderson, added another layer of depth to the show. Jake, who had started as a deckhand on the Northwestern, brought a compelling personal story and a relatable underdog mentality to his role as captain. His journey from struggling crew member to leader of his own vessel resonated with many viewers. Watching his progression, as well as the challenges he faced in earning respect and managing a crew, added emotional weight and authenticity to the series. Another expansion came in the form of spin-offs and special episodes that explored other types of commercial fishing or provided behind-the-scenes insight. Shows like Deadliest Catch, Bloodline, which followed Josh Harris in Hawaii as he explored his late father's past, offered a different flavor while maintaining connections to the original series. These spin-offs allowed the franchise to explore different geographical areas, fishing methods, and family legacies, expanding its reach without losing its core identity. One important development was the increasing emphasis on the broader fishing industry, including the economic, environmental, and regulatory factors affecting it. As the series matured, so did its storytelling, which began to reflect more of the systemic issues at play. For example, episodes started to include commentary on how international crab markets, fuel costs, or government quotas could impact the bottom line for fishing boats. These segments gave viewers a more comprehensive understanding of the pressures captains face, not just on the water, but in the boardrooms and bureaucracies that influence their livelihoods. The show also delved deeper into the environmental challenges facing crab fishermen. Climate change, for example, became a recurring topic. Shifts in ocean temperatures and changing ice conditions began to affect crab migration patterns, making it harder for captains to find reliable fishing grounds. Some seasons yielded smaller catches and captains were forced to explore new territory or take longer trips to find productive areas. These changes highlighted the delicate balance between nature and industry, showing how even the most experienced captains must constantly adapt to forces beyond their control. This era of Deadliest Catch also saw an increase in the use of modern technology. While the early seasons emphasized the raw, traditional aspects of crab fishing, later seasons began to show how innovations such as sonar mapping, satellite weather tracking, and more advanced onboard systems were changing how captains approach their work. These technologies helped reduce some risks and improve efficiency, but they also raised the bar for what was expected. A captain who couldn't keep up with technological changes might find themselves at a disadvantage compared to those who embrace the new tools. However, the adoption of technology also created tension. Some veterans were skeptical of relying too much on machines, preferring to trust instinct and experience. This debate between old-school intuition and data-driven strategy became a quiet but recurring theme in the series, reflecting a broader conversation happening in many industries. Throughout this period, Deadliest Catch continued to be shaped by the personal stories of the men and women aboard the boats. Relationships were tested, tragedies occurred, and personal growth was documented. One of the most compelling aspects of the show remained its ability to humanize its subjects. Even as the scope of the show expanded, it never lost sight of the fact that its core appeal lies in the real lives and real stakes of the people involved. For instance, the crew of the Cornelia Marie, under Josh Harris and Casey McManus, often shared their personal journeys with honesty and vulnerability. Whether it was dealing with injuries, mechanical failures, or internal disputes, these moments grounded the series in reality. The captains and crew were not just figures in a documentary, they were real people navigating an unforgiving world with resilience and determination. As new challenges emerged, both at sea and on land, the captains often reflected on their motivations. For many, fishing wasn't just a job, but a calling. Despite the dangers and hardships, they returned to the sea season after season because it was a part of who they were. This sense of identity, rooted in tradition and shaped by experience, was a constant through every evolution of the series. By this point in its run, Deadliest Catch had become more than just a reality show. It had grown into a long-form documentary series that offered a rare and nuanced look into a dangerous, often misunderstood profession. Its continued success was a testament to the strength of its storytelling and the depth of its characters. Whether viewers tuned in for the thrill of the storms, the strategy behind the catch, or the personal stories of triumph and loss, the show delivered a compelling and honest portrayal of life on the Bering Sea. What stood out most during this phase was the show's ability to adapt while staying true to its core values. It embraced change, new boats, new faces, new technologies, but never lost sight of what made it compelling in the first place: the human experience at the heart of one of the world's most dangerous jobs. The combination of grit, skill, and emotion continued to make Deadliest Catch not just a show about perseverance, family, and survival.